How's it going, YouTube? This is a different intro than normal, and I want to just be very specific before we get into this firearm. I want to make a lot of things really clear, okay? I have to, because the backlash, for whatever reason, for whoever watches this, is going to be, it is what it is. There's the fans and the fanboys of it, and it is what it is. We're talking about the H&K Mark 23. I'm going to say the word, I mean, look at this thing compared to my face. I'm going to say the word impractical a lot. And if you're going to get mad, whatever it is. If you're going to agree with me, It is what it is. Just know, I say it a lot. You can see why. This has this gun, okay? Now, other than it being impractical, this is the best pistol I've ever fired. I would say it's the most fun. Most fun being because it's a 45 with a longer than 5-inch barrel. I mean, this is the size of a Desert Eagle. Desert Eagle shoots 50 AE, as the Action Express. But it's a massive barrel in 45 with a polymer frame. And the recoil is more than manageable. It's so fun to shoot that I can't afford the ammo to shoot this thing. I went out and got 100 rounds. It was $70, 45. It may seem like not a lot of money for 100 rounds, but I mean, if I can get 9mm, I can get 3 boxes of it, you know, maybe a little more, depending on where I go. That's 150, maybe 200 rounds, 9mm. It's twice as much shots, twice as much fun. Debatable. But the Mark 23 is a fantastic firearm. It was made for SOCOM, perfected for SOCOM by H&K. H&K was the only competitor left between H&K and Colt in the production of this firearm. And when Colt dropped out, H&K had to keep going. And they finished the production with a more than great, a ridiculous, in my aspect, firearm. But it's impractical. All right, guys, let's go ahead and pop the case open just so we can kind of see what we're looking at here. When I said push it to the limits, I meant I'm going to push this case to the limits as far as the firearm. As you can see, that is the hammer, that is the barrel. Barely fits in this small case, but yes, we do have an H&K Mark 23, and it is a beautiful firearm. Before we start waving this thing around, we'll just make sure that I check the barrel for all of the guys out there to make sure that the firearm is clear. As you can see, there's nothing in the chamber there. So this is it, guys. This is the highest pistol that H&K made. By highest, I mean kind of the, I wouldn't say holy grail of H&K pistols, but some could consider that what this is. I will say this is a massive pistol. Impractical, yes. Is it something you'd probably carry every single day? No. Would you or could you put it in a shoulder holster? Sure. But I mean, when it comes down to it, it's not something you're going to carry every day. Is it fun to shoot? Yes. Can it put groups on target at 25 yards? Yes. But as far as being a defensive pistol, it's not a defensive pistol, it's an offensive pistol. That's kind of what it was designed for. That's what H&K spent their time creating it for, was to be an offensive pistol for SOCOM, and they succeeded. And today we have the H&K Mark 23.
it was a little harder to see back there, but
It's kind of things like this all over the place. See if we can put it on the nose here. Kick more, to be honest. Left hand. Right there. Thank you so All right, guys, before we dive into the actual kind of facts and things and cool things about the pistol, let's go ahead and just take a look at the case, see what all you get with the firearm. So you do get two 12-round magazines, depending on where you purchase the firearm at, but there is not a magazine capacity ban or anything like that in Texas. So two 12-round magazines, what you get. And then let's take a look at the case. Nothing at the bottom here. At the top, they have the H&K decal. Receipt. We have our operator's manual, owner's manual, whatever you want to call it. Kind of shows you a lot of things about the firearm here. Keep track of the rounds you fired here. Your lockout device. There is a lock for the case here, H&K branded, and then there is this little baggie here, and it's got the O-rings. These O-rings go on the barrel. Now, real quick, what I mean by that is a lot of firearms that do have a suppressor barrel or threaded barrel, they will not have this little O-ring here. Now what this little O-ring does, I'm going to move the thread protector so you guys can kind of see it real quick. Now whenever that firearm, whenever you fire the pistol and the barrel drops out of the way, you can see here the barrel kind of tilts, right? Barrel kind of tilts. Well, when it goes back forward, that O-ring helps to realign that barrel the same way every single time. That way you can have repetitive, accurate shots on target, which is kind of what the MK23 is kind of known for, being a match-grade pistol. Basically, this firearm had to be able to shoot 2-inch group or better at 25 meters, 27 yards, which is about, what is that, 80 feet, I think? Is that 80 feet? No, yeah, about 80 feet, I think. So it's kind of wild, the way that they had to put that little O-ring in there to kind of help that out. But You are supposed to change that O-ring out every, I believe it's 20,000 rounds. So you do have some extra ones in here, but if you need to change them out anytime sooner, you should call up H&K. They get you some more O-rings. So pretty neat. Let's go ahead and put this protector back on. And yes, guys, I did hold the barrel up to the camera, but I'm actually down here, not the camera, so I'm not pointing the gun at myself. But yes, there's that O-ring. Helps you align that barrel the same way every time. Pretty neat. Alright guys, now, so I will say, this does feel good in my hands. It is a nice pistol. It's just massive, it's oversized. It's almost, if not the same size as a Desert Eagle. The Desert Eagle shoots 50 AE rounds, which is bigger than 45, but this shoots 45. Now, the whole thing with 45, it's just where to start. I mean, the 45 ACP round is a fantastic round. It's got an amazing stopping power, and yet it's, I mean, it is definitely a subsonic round, which is nice because these come with threaded barrels and made to be suppressed. So that 45 ACP round being suppressed just makes this firearm even better. I will say, they did start to make a smaller Mark 23, and it's not really a Mark 23. It probably guys know it as the USB 45. It's basically the same. If you look at both guns, make sure it's basically the same thing. If you took a USB 45 tactical, it's just a smaller version of this Mark 23. Now, is it as good? No. Mark 23 is something of its kind and way out of the USB 45 league, but it is definitely the smaller, younger brother of the Mark 23. Now the sight radius here is just under 8 inches, which kind of helps to get that accuracy at that 27 yards and those 2-inch groups pretty easily on target. Now the gun itself comes in at just under 40 ounces. I will say that the SIG that I was testing, that my last video, does weigh about, I think, 45 ounces, so it is heavier than this firearm. It's kind of crazy to think that a 9mm pistol that's smaller than this weighs heavier, but that SIG does have the tungsten infused grip, which makes it heavier and easier to control recoil. Now on the Mark 23, recoil is also easily controlled due to the recoil spring setup that is inside, and we'll take a look at that a little later. Yeah, it's not a very light pistol. It definitely is heavy, but I mean, for the size, what could you expect? You are carrying around, like I said, 12 rounds plus 1 of 45 ACP, so you have to factor in the weight of that as well. But because of the fact that this is an offensive handgun, you're not really going to be having another primary rifle or firearm. This would be your primary weapon. So 45 ammo isn't going to be something that's too crazy heavy to carry around, especially if you have a couple of these magazines. Now the barrel is about 5.87 inches in length, so from the back to the front. That's with that thread, without the thread protector on there and just the threads. But the overall length is just under 10 inches, so from the hammer to the tip of the barrel, which is massive. If you think about it, we're almost getting to a foot. That's not including the suppressor. Now, the suppressors on the Mark 23s, they are special because they are not your typical 16x1 left-hand thread. They are a 16x1 right-hand thread, which is pretty neat because SOCOM had those designed specifically for this pistol because they wanted a specific suppressor for this firearm. So that is a neat fun fact about this pistol here. I will say the Mark 23 does come with both a manual safety, so you can carry it cocked and locked, and also with a decocker. Now it's considered a silent decocker because if you wanted to have it drop the hammer but not all the way, and you want to be in a quiet situation, it will drop the hammer. So now it does sound kind of loud, but compared to other decockers, that there's not a loud pop or a loud snap kind of internally right before that. Pretty neat. So yeah, decocker is only on the left-hand side of the pistol. Safety is on both sides. So that is pretty neat. Your magazine release is kind of traditional H&K, as well as like on the P30 and the VP9s. You can access it from both sides. It's ambidextrous, and it's just a little bar that kind of slides down like this. So pretty neat. You can use your middle finger, drop it. You can use your thumb, drop it. Pretty neat pistol. Now it does not come, you know, optic ready, as you kind of say, but for the gun of its time, in 1996, when this gun was finally able to get out to the SOCOM, that wasn't really something that they had on their firearms. I'm pretty sure if you wanted to build it out, it's maybe a possibility. I don't think so, but you would probably find someone to do it. But why would you want to ruin that when you have these perfect sights that can hit that those targets at 27 meters? You know, like I said, 2-inch groups. So yeah, overall it's nice. This is H&K's proprietary rail here. It is set up to receive that LAM system with this screw here, as well as with the suppressor. And like I said, this pistol is made for SOCOM, so they had a lot of requirements that they wanted to be able to use with this pistol here. So it is pretty neat. Now, like I was saying before, it's kind of impractical as an everyday firearm that you'd carry around. Even if you put it in your truck or in your car, it's massive. It's just a big gun, and it's like I said, it's an offensive gun. It's not a defensive firearm. You have compact pistols for that, 9mm. They even have compact 45 or compact 10mm pistols. This isn't something you'd be carrying on you all the time. Now, I will say that because of the size of this gun, it's able to absorb recoil very well, which is neat. I did kind of see that as we shot a USP and we shot the MK, both out at the outdoor range, and I definitely felt a little more recoil from the USP, but I will say that H&K did get the USP and the Mark 23 right, because the recoil was very minimal on both. It was minimal more on the Mark 23 because, I mean, just a bigger pistol, you shoot the same size round through it, but overall, you get a lot less recoil out of the Mark 23 than you did out of the USP 45. So, but overall, it's just a nice pistol. No front serrations here, just rear serrations, because when you got that suppressor on there and you got the LAM, it's kind of hard to pull those serrations down when you got a lot of stuff here. So you want to just pull from the back. Now, the trigger in single action does come in at about 5.15 pounds, I believe, is whatever it's rated at. 5.1 pounds. Yeah, 5.1 pounds. I'm not saying that because I'm feeling it. I'm not like a, weight measuring system on my finger here, but yeah, 5.1 pounds. And then the double action pull is over 11 pounds. Man, almost at 11.5 pounds for the double action. So it's almost double the pressure. You can definitely feel that. I mean, so the double action is definitely going to be something that's, it's got a lot of weight to it, but it is kind of what they wanted. So single action, like I said, 5.5 pounds. Now, the neat thing about the Mark 23, and both in the USP 45, but mainly the Mark 23 because that's what we're kind of talking about now, it did have to go through a 30,000 round test, and that was using plus P 45 ammo, which is higher rated than normal 45 ACP ammo. Now, an even cooler thing about the Mark 23 is that it is able to shoot 45 Super, which there are only a couple of pistols out there that can come out of the box and shoot 45 Super without messing up their internals. The Mark 23 and the USP 45 being two of those pistols. So H&K definitely has the 45 game down correctly. Now that LAM, or laser aiming module system that I was talking about is pretty. I mean, they originally had it, and it was pretty big, big old blocky kind of square looking thing. Now it's kind of smaller, and they do have a flashlight as well as the laser, and both are IR, infrared if you need them for night vision. So that is also a kind of neat thing about the pistol. Other than that, you have kind of just this random threading here for that system when you do decide to get it, if you decide to get it. Now, real quick, if you look here on the slide, you'll see Mark 23, the word actual Mark 23, because this is a civilian model of the pistol. The SOCOM is, we'll say US SOCOM and say MK23, which is the same thing as Mark 23, but this is the civilian model. The suppressor that is made for this pistol, which I'm pretty sure there's more out now, but Knight's Armament was the original suppressor manufacturer who made this suppressor for the H&K Mark 23. And then you have Insight Technology, who makes the laser aiming module for this gun as well. So H&K kind of has all those things put together to be able to make this pistol exactly what SOCOM needs it to be. But guys, let's go ahead and take it apart real quick. Kind of a neat way to take it apart. Let's see, I've done this once before, so I'm going to go ahead and do it again here. Pop that magazine out. Make sure there's no rounds in the chamber. There's not. So I'm going to pull the barrel back, or slide back, sorry. Right there, you'll see kind of the little indent here. I'm going to push this out. And that's out. And that should come right off. There you have it. There's the frame, there's your frame and your slide. Now, like I said, the slide almost about 10 inches long. Slide, massive. Now here's that spring I was talking about. Now it's pretty neat because you have the large spring here, which is kind of loose fitting, which is for recoil. But then once it compresses, you have an even bigger spring to kind of help slow the slide down and kind of decrease the wear of a normal slide on a frame or in the barrel as well. So it is kind of neat to be able to have both those springs in there captive. And we'll take the barrel out here. Like I said, I've done this one once before, so do this together here. There it is. Just a massive slide. There's your barrel. Now on that barrel, it's neat to say, kind of speechless as you know, but neat to say, it is a polygonal barrel design. It improves the accuracy a lot, and it is very neat looking down the barrel of a polygonal barrel. I'll see if I can get it so you guys can see it. It's just a pretty neat barrel. It's like I said, it's reported to improve accuracy and durability, but it's also a lot more expensive to produce, which, I mean, you guess you can factor into the price of the pistol itself. Yep, there's your barrel, guys, and there's that O-ring I'll tell you guys about. You can change it every 20,000 rounds, or just whenever you'd like to change it out. But yeah, awesome barrel. Let's go ahead and put this back together. This is tricky. There we go. Yeah, I need to clean this gun for him too. That's it. There you go. Back together. But like I said, guys, just a big pistol. practical? No. Nice pistol though. I would recommend if you ever get the chance to shoot one or to be able to shoot one, do it. Because it is a legendary pistol made by H&K. Just overall neat firearm. All right, guys. To sum everything up, the H&K Mark 23 is awesome. It's an awesome pistol. I will say, if you can own one, if you have the money to own one, if you have the money to buy one, do it. If you're gonna be able to use it. Now that goes with saying, I will say this is gonna probably be more of a firearm or pistol that you would use if you were doing a lot of hunting, because that 45 super, you know, coming out of this barrel, I don't know, 1600 round feet per second, does have some stopping power, so if you encounter any bears or anything like that, this will kind of be there for you. You don't have to carry around a rifle. But other than that, man, I don't see anybody carrying this pistol, even open carrying it. It's just massive. You have to carry it like on a thigh rig, and even then, how often are you gonna wear a thigh rig when you're out and about? Yeah, overall, guys, Mark 23, awesome pistol. H&K did it again. I will be reviewing a USP 45 here soon. It is just kind of, like I said, a little smaller brother. It's not a tactical, so it doesn't have the threaded barrel on there, but the USP 45 is definitely a lot smaller than this. More of a practical gun that you can carry. Still kind of big, but you can definitely open carry it on your hip or use a leather holster. All right, shooting the H&K Mark 23 here, first time. All right, let's get it here. Ready to go. What's the recoil compared to the USP? Is it kind of different?
No, it's actually not too bad. It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Closing statement. $2,400-ish, brand new. 2 G's used. You're up in there in Staccato, Terran Tactical, 2011 range. Wilson Combat, I think, is a little more expensive. Those pistols are made custom. They're new age, fantastic pistols, all of them, every single one of them. Did they have as much development, perfection, and testing, and just beat down as this gun? No. Do they shoot 9? Yes. Does this shoot 9? No. This is 45. If you can afford 45, if you're loading 45, if you want a fun range gun, Mark 23. If you can carry it, I mean, sure, I guess. You know, maybe. It's massive. Even open carry, it's massive. But for the price, the looks of it, the function, the know that it's going to shoot every single time, this pistol, the Mark 23, everyone should have one. If you can afford it. Everyone should shoot one. I said that about the Checkmate. Checkmate's fantastic, it's a race gun. This is 45. Offensive pistol. Will you ever use it in an offensive situation? Probably not. I hope not. Will it be there as a defensive pistol if you need it? Absolutely. But the size of it is just impractical. Guys, thanks for watching the video. If you got this far, thank you for the support. Not everybody gets this far in the video. Usually stop watching pretty soon, early on, but thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment. It does help out a lot. I do like to see new subs. It does help me to keep going. I will say I'm trying to get to 1,000 subs. just to kind of hit that mile marker for myself. All these videos, thank you to a friend of mine, Derek, for letting me borrow this gun once again. Did help me out to kind of shoot this gun and do a video on it, and I do appreciate that a lot. I do get a lot of help from people that want to see me succeed, so it is great. So guys, thanks for the comments. Again, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe, guys. It helps out more than you think. And I will see you guys next time.